Hello, my name is Nell and I have things to say. Apologies if the light is a bit weird. It's kind of getting late in the afternoon. I try not to do too many things because my body doesn't like it. Usually my routine is that I go out and do something, and then I have 2 days at home or 3 days at home, and then I go out and do something, and then I have 2 to 3 days at home. Rinse and repeat, because my body can handle that. And even to go out, I still have to take a low dose steroids so that my body can handle just the existence of being out. But a couple of weeks ago, I had a couple of big days. I was out on the Wednesday for about 4 hours, I think. And then I was out on Friday for 1 hour. And then I was out on Saturday for 3 hours. So a total of 8 hours out in 4 days, which is massive for me. And on Saturday afternoon, I was feeling so exhausted. I was so beat. And I was frustrated because I thought, this is ridiculous. Like, I can't even handle a couple of days of just doing things, of just living, of just existing. I can't even exist for a couple of days like a normal person without having a bad reaction to it. And my worker said, oh, yep, I totally get it. Yeah, it affects me the exact same way. I get super tired anytime I've done a double shift. I'm just wiped out. Yep, so I completely understand. Let's just assess the situation here. She's an able-bodied, middle-aged lady who gets tired after a double shift at work. That's pretty normal. That's pretty normal. Most adults I know would feel that way. Man, the light is really bad. I am 31 and I was out a total of 8 hours over the course of 4 days. And I was so tired that I was struggling to move. And I took steroids every day and painkillers every day. Our situations are not comparable at all. You do not completely understand. And by you saying that you completely understand, you're actually showing me that you understand me very, very little. You really don't understand me that much at all. No one truly understands anyone else. I mean, it's honestly a bit of a lie to say that you completely understand to anyone, because our experiences are so different. Even if you are following very similar paths in life, you will not completely understand somebody else because we're so different. But there are certain situations where you don't even come close to completely understanding. You don't really come that close to understanding. And in this situation where it's an able-bodied person who is working full-time talking to a disabled adult who is 25 years their junior, who is barely able to function as an independent adult, there is no understanding. There's no crossover of experience there. And I explained this to her. I said, look, when you are talking to a disabled person and they are venting about their lack of functionality, as an able-bodied person, do not say that you completely understand and that you are in the same boat. We are not in the same boat, not in the same harbor, not in the same ocean. This is not the same. We are not the same. Your tiredness is not the same as my full body fatigue, as my bone weariness, as my cells don't generate overnight and so I wake up exhausted. I'm worn out from work and then I sleep and then I wake up and I'm set again. That's it. We're not the same. We're not the same. It's like, I have a dog and a cat. They're my babies. And sometimes I joke that raising them really is like children. I can't get a snack out of the cupboard without having eyes on me. I can't pee without having eyes on me. My bed is not my own. My lap is not my own. My clothes are not my own. Yeah, it's in some ways they're kind of like kids. But if one of my friends who is a parent is venting about how much they're struggling and they say like, I'm really struggling, like the kids have me so exhausted. I am not going to say I completely understand, because I have animals and they wear me out. So yeah, I'm totally like you, where your 1-year-old has croup and your 2-year-old is teething. I'm not going to say that because I don't understand. It is not comparable. And the thing is, when we are venting about a tough experience, we're not really looking for somebody to say, I completely understand, or I know exactly what you're going through, or I've been there. What we're looking for is somebody to say, I hear you. I feel for you. Is there anything you need? I don't need you to completely understand what I'm going through. I need you to listen. That's it. I need to be heard. And even the people who would come close to understanding what I go through with disability, chronic illness, or mental health, even they don't tend to say, I completely understand. We're more likely to say to each other, I get it. I feel you. It's really tough. Because we know that we still don't completely understand, because we can't. We might be similar in our experiences, but we're not the same. So this lady actually did take it on board really well. And then I think the following week, we were talking about aches and pains. And she said, look, I don't know how you do it, because I feel aches and pains, and I can still get up and move around and warm up. And I know how much medication you take. Like, I can't imagine how it must be. And I appreciated that, because she listened and she heard. So yeah, when somebody is venting to you, especially somebody whose level of functionality or whose level of struggle or whose situation is so different from yours, when they're venting about something, please know that they're not looking for you to say, I know exactly. Because that just says, I know it all, I don't need to hear you anymore. What we want somebody to say is, I'm listening. I hear you. I'm here for you. Because when you say you completely understand, that's a really loud way of saying I don't get you at all. And that doesn't help anyone. So be careful. Words have power. Alright. That's all. Bless.